Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name is VirtualNunchucks and I do apologize. Hope this video finds you well, but I apologize for not having some Batman enemy within gameplay for you today. I do have some, but I have to do this when I can, especially right now with my wife having COVID. The doctors have told her, take the medicine, do everything you can do, of course, and but mostly to take it easy. So her version of take it easy is to get some sleep, so I do it when she's sleeping. And then when she's awake, she watches a lot of TV and tries to eat and just rest. And that's what the doctor asks her to do. So I do this when I can. So as soon as I can get some gameplay up on the screen or up on the channel, I'll do that for you guys. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about licensed games and why video, or excuse me, not video, but movie licensed games especially are not going to go anywhere. Okay? And to do that, I have to take you into the way, way back machine a couple of times. So bear with me, okay? For those of you who are younger, um, we'll leave you guys a section where you guys can talk to us in the comment section below and tell me what your licensed game is, your favorite licensed movie game is, and there will be no judgment, okay? But let's talk about it for a second. Back in my day, way, way back in the day, okay, the only time I could see a movie was to either go to the theater, which we still have some. Hopefully this will be around when COVID is over, but we still have some. So you could go to the movie theater, or you had to wait like 6 to 8 months for the, maybe even sometimes a year, for the movie to come out on VHS. Now, please, before you at me, yes, I have a Blu-ray, a Blu-ray disc drive, and I have DVDs, and I have all this stuff, so I'm up with the times. But that's it. You went to the movie, you saw the movie, you either bought the Superman, for example, Superman 1, 2, and 3, and 4 came out in my lifetime, okay? My childhood. So I'm old, right? So the only way you got to be Superman was to either A, be in the movie, which Christopher Reeve was Superman. He always will be Superman, at least in my eyes. So that was not an option. Or you bought the Superman, or conned your parents into buying you Superman pajamas with the little detachable cape, which nowadays they probably would not let you have because it would be considered child endangerment. But you got the detachable cape, and you dressed in your Superman pajamas, and you ran around outside and pretended you were flying on the swings and all kinds of stuff, and rescued your dog and pretended it was like Lois Lane or I don't know. No judgment. Okay, that was it. Until the advent of video games. Back in the day, my first video game that was licensed, well, there were a couple. The first licensed video game that I came across was on the Atom computer system, which, if you don't know what that is, Google it. I'm not going to give you a history lesson on the Atom computer system. It's not my thing today, but it's ADDAM, Atom computer system, okay? And you popped, the first one was Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and you popped it in, and it was nothing like the movie, okay? But you did have the Enterprise represented by a capital E in brackets, and you had Klingons that were represented by K's, and you had little planets that were asterisks, and you managed your energy, your phasers, your torpedoes, and your warp drive, and all that kind of stuff. And for me, I was like, cool, I am Captain Kirk, and this is my crew, and we're going to save the universe, okay? And we're going to, even though this was nothing like the movie, we're going to take out the Klingons, alright? And I would, because I was enamored with the movie and the universe that it was, because I'm a geek, and I own that, I'm in my 40s now, I'm allowed. Okay, Star Wars, Star Trek, Superman, Batman, all of it. I own it, I'm okay with being a geek. Alright, but I was Captain Kirk, and I was crew, and we were going to rescue, we were going to rescue everybody, and I had Uhura to tell me the communications from the starbase was there, and I had all these people, and I love the universe, right? So I would make up stories, like, even though it was the same game over and over and over again, I would make up stories. I'd do captain's logs and stuff, and I'd just be enamored with this game and tell it to go certain places, and we'd go and we'd blow up the Klingons, okay? And then when Indiana Jones came out, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and um, The Last Crusade. They all came out. All right, Indiana Jones on Nintendo, or not Nintendo, on Atari 2600, The Raiders of the Lost Ark. Nothing like the movie, but it had the Lost Ark. It had Indiana Jones with a hat and a whip, and I was enamored. E.T. same way. Okay, game was nothing like the movie. It's the most hated game on the planet. I know, but I was 10. I loved the movie, and I loved the game, and I got to be E.T. So I didn't care. The reason licensed games are not going to go anywhere is because it strikes a chord with both younger generations, and especially now that we're older, if they try to do some retro stuff like Predator, for example, and the Rambo game that came out a few years ago, and the Terminator game that came out just a little bit ago, it strikes a chord with us. All of us want to be those characters. We want to be in that universe because we love that universe. Rather, it's if you're a horror game person, you play Friday the 13th, for example, because you want to be Jason Voorhees or you want to be whoever. Okay, if you play, if you play Batman Enemy Within or Arkham Asylum or whatever, it's because you want to be Batman. And movie license games sometimes are the only way you can do it. For example, the only Superman game you're ever going to get, within recent memory anyway, is PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360's Superman Returns. I bought the game, drove my wife crazy about the game because I went into the forums and I talked about it all the time, drove her crazy, drove her insane. But it was the first time that Superman was going to be in an open world. They were going to have dynamic events happen where supervillains and things happened, spawned in, and you had to save the city, and you had the story of Superman Returns, plus you had this whole huge city to go into, and Superman flew it, broke the sound barrier when he flew, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it struck a chord with me because I'm a Superman geek, and I'm a comic book geek, and I'm a movie geek, and so I was like, hey, cool. And that's why they're not going to go anywhere, because there's something about movies and then wanting to be in those movies, wanting to be in those fantastic worlds that you see on the screen. And the only way you could do that is you either read the book adaptation or you watched the movie. But when video games came out, you got to actually be in the movie. You got to be that person. You were like, awesome, right? So it didn't matter if the game sucked. It didn't matter if it wasn't any good. The point was I was Superman, or I was Indiana Jones. Or I'll give you another one. Or if you loved Who Framed Roger Rabbit on Disney Plus, by the way, if you want to watch it, watched it with my family the other day. If you wanted to be Eddie Valiant, you played Who Framed Roger Rabbit on Nintendo Entertainment System. Okay. Nowadays it's things like Cars, Lightning McQueen's something or other, and it's the Predator game and all that. But they were amazing experiences because we were 10, because we were kids and we didn't know any better. But we were those characters, and it was totally cool. Are they nothing? Sometimes movie tie-in games are exactly like the movie, and you don't get any choice in the matter whatsoever. You just play a certain section, and then you see a cutscene, and then you play another section, and you see another cutscene from the movie, and you go on. But then there are other games that sometimes will add a little bit to the movie that enhances the experience a little bit, and you kind of wish, hey, why wasn't this in the movie? This is cool. But then it still sucks because they're usually very linear. You're going one direction whether you want to or not, and they're very short, and people hate them because they're short, because they're expensive, and because most of the time when there's some effort put into them, it's very little effort, and it's just constricting. And as gamers, we hate that, especially now when we have to pay $70 for a game, and we're older now, and we have to prioritize, okay, do I want a $70 game that's kind of sort of a movie game, or do I want to pay, a credit card, things like that. But as kids, we didn't care about that. We wanted to just be those characters. For example, And again, I know I'm old and I know I'm ancient. I know things like that happen. But and I'm gonna date myself here just a second. But like, I can remember as a kid, all right, going to certain stores and seeing like Knight Rider on Nintendo Entertainment System, and all I could think about was the car, man, because the car talked to you, the car could jump over cars, and the car could do all this kind of cool stuff, and I thought, awesome, there's a Knight Rider game. And I'm sorry if you don't know what that show is. Again, Google it. It's free to watch on NBC's website, so check it out. Not the reboot, okay, the actual 80s show. But anyway, but I got to be Michael Knight in that game, and I got to drive the car, and I got to, chase the bad guys, and it was just cool, man. So, fast forward a little bit to today, okay? So today you have games like Predator, which, by the way, you can get on your respective storefronts now. It's a multiplayer game. Do I recommend it? No, absolutely not. But the idea is that you're a team of 6 players, and then you're also not only a team of 6, but you are your whole objective is to take down another player, which is the Predator. Okay, and if you remember the Predator movies, the Predator gets to be invisible. The Predator can hunt you in thermal vision and know where you are at all times, and wipe you out in a single move and wipe out an entire team in like 10 minutes on screen. Okay, and scare everybody half to death. Why wouldn't you want to play that? That's why it was invented. That's why this game, even though it sucks, is out. Because there's something about striking that chord, that inner child that says, I want to do that. Okay? For me, it was E.T. And Indiana Jones and Back to the Future and Who Framed Roger Rabbit games. There are a few licensed games that I've played in more recent times, but those were cool. And that's why they're never going to go anywhere, because there's always going to be that inner kid, or that kid, that says to their mom or dad, hey, I remember Up, or I remember, Cars, and I want to play, or whatever. Okay, whatever the movie happens to be with the movie tie-in game, that's not the point. There was James Bond tie-in games for the movies and stuff like that. Some of them were good. GoldenEye was good. Things like that. But there's always going to be that kid that says, oh, Mom, Dad, or Grandma, Grandpa, I want that, because I get to be that character, whoever that character happens to be. That's why they're not going to go anywhere, and that's why they're always going to suck our money and our time. And whether we want to admit it or not, we have guilty pleasure games like that all the time. Even though we know they suck, even though we know that we shouldn't be playing it, and we're just going to waste our time, and it's going to be disappointing in some respects, there's just something about us that just says, yeah, I want to be that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys my guilty pleasure movie tie-in game. I'm going to give you 2, all right? And then, well, I've given you quite a few in this video, but then in the comment section below, no judgment will be passed whatsoever. You can tell me yours in the comment section below, whether it's Friday the 13th or whether it's, I don't know, Predator, or whatever your favorite movie tie-in game was. Top Gun, by the way, was a thing back in the 80s too. You had Top Gun 1 and Top Gun 2 for Nintendo. So here we go. All right, my favorite movie tie-in game by far. I had a lot of them when I was a kid, from Star Wars to Star Trek to, it doesn't really matter, but one of my favorites, honestly, was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Why? Because I got to drive Benny around. Benny was the taxi cab. I got to have Roger Rabbit follow me everywhere. I got to go into Toontown and see all these crazy characters, punch the weasels, and see them fly around, you know, and do all these kind of crazy things, and it was fun. Okay, it was more like the game, more like the movie than some games, but it was fun. So that was mine. I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. Um, but let me know yours in the comment section below. And again, there will be no judgment whatsoever. Um, but I just want to know if you guys have a favorite movie tie-in game that you played as a kid. Um, even if it was, you know, like King Kong a few years ago on the PS3, I think it was. I played that one a few times. Okay, um, didn't necessarily like it. Well, okay, I liked it a little bit, but I played it a few times. It wasn't bad, and that was my way of seeing King Kong before I actually manned up and went to the theater. Okay, and saw it. Um, but I don't know. Just tell me what it was in the comment section below. And then, of course, don't forget to subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and don't forget, every Monday through Friday I do something gaming related on this channel. Whether it's news reviews, opinion pieces, news, comma, reviews, opinion pieces, news updates, or you know, occasional opinion pieces like this one. You know what I do on this channel. It's games, man, all the time. Just subscribe, hit that notification bell. And I'd love to have you along for the ride. Don't forget you can follow me on Facebook.com/VirtualNunchucks, over on Twitter @VNunchucks, and of course Twitch.tv/VirtualNunchucks. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday. We'll see you in the next video. Please let me know in the comment section below what your favorite movie tie-in game was. I don't care how young you are, I don't care how old you are, you got one somewhere. Even if it was Lightning McQueen or I'm trying to think of something that came out recently. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let me know in the comment section below. You guys know what yours was. Alright. Have a great day, guys.